All right, please be joined by General Manager Don Sweeney of the Boston Bruins. Thanks for making time for us, Don. I know you've had a busy week already, and I want to start with the acquisition, the first round draft pick. You're back in the mix after the first time for a couple of years with the first round pick. Um, might be early to tell, and there are several needs for this team. Do you have any priorities as to where those needs are right now?
Well, Sophia, thanks for inviting me on. I guess I should start by congratulating the Celtics for Banner 18. First opportunity I have been able to do that publicly, so congratulations to them. Very much enjoyed a parade and would love to follow in their footsteps at some point in time here, and hopefully this upcoming season. In reference to getting back into the first round, obviously our scouts are incredibly excited. They've worked all year to hope that we would do something to allow them to get back and have a selection there. So, we've got some areas that we would like to try and address with a particular player, but we're always trying to look for the best player we can draft that fits, into what we try and accomplish, regardless of position. And we're excited. There's several kids that we believe will be in that around that 25th pick, unless something presents that we don't feel comfortable. We want to change, either moving up or down.
In terms of need and when where you're deciding where the priority is it a dangerous game to play kind of projection as to where you expect or where you hope some of your current players will be? Say with the Providence Bruins, maybe you're expecting someone to have a bigger year comes up, or with the current Bruins. Is that a dangerous game to play, or do you factor that in when it comes to drafting?
If you have players that have taken a big jump, Matty Poitras, obviously we hope he comes back and he's healthy next year and challenges to be back on our team. So we got a pleasant surprise last year where we felt that he had made a significant jump. Does it change your approach? Not really. We still try and find the best player that we can, where we're drafting. Obviously, you might have areas that you feel your organization needs to address from a depth perspective, but I don't think we go in there with a target specific. We have to take a positional player at any point in time. We just like to evaluate the players that are available and ultimately make the best decision possible.
Obviously, one of the narratives for the last few seasons, Boston Bruins, lucky but not just lucky. They obviously traded well, drafted well, and Coach Bob Essenza developed some great goaltending. One of them was part of the trade to the Ottawa Senators, of course, Linus Ullmark, such an asset. Many teams looking for a goaltender. With him being such a hot commodity, are you satisfied with what you got in return?
Well, again, it's always about what the market will bear, and there were a lot of goalies that were sort of being talked about within the marketplace. Ultimately, we made a decision as to what's best for us as an organization. Wishing, Linus, thanking him first and foremost for he and Mo and their families' contributions to Boston, both on and off the ice. As I referenced before, he's as the winning goalie, but he's an all-star on and off the ice as a person. So, we wish him well, except maybe when we're playing against him, which is the competitive nature in all of us. But again, the market, you never know what other teams may be doing. They may be just exploring, they may be just testing, dipping their toe in. There were several goalies that were discussed around the league, and at this point in time, only 2 or 3 of them have actually changed teams for different reasons. And we're excited about Mark and Yona coming to our hockey club, and as you referenced earlier, getting back into the first round. So, we made the trade that we felt will continue to add pieces to our hockey club, as well as give us a chance to improve the future of our organization.
Obviously, for the last couple of seasons and dating back to Yaroslav Halak and Tuukka Rask, you kind of had this 1A, 1B situation where you have 2 starters on your team. With Jonas Korpisalo, obviously you have to see how it plays out. But is that the direction you want your team to go, to starters? Or given, his salary, given what you get out of him, are you okay with him being just a solid backup and Jeremy Swayman being the sure number 1?
Well, again, both Linus and Jeremy at the end of the year were advocating to up their ante of game starts, and that's a hard exercise when both guys have been very, very good and trying to share the net and balance that out. And, Jeremy had a really strong playoff. in Yona's case, like I think it's important to have competitive goaltending. Internal competition, generally drives people forward, and I think this will be a continued exercise in that. We've had that benefit of the relationship with Linus and Sway, and previously with Tuukka and Yarrow, and Brandon Blessy's part of this equation. He wants his opportunity as well. So I think training camp will be a really competitive environment to allow the natural process of who takes the net. We're excited that Jeremy has taken the steps that he has. We're going to get a contract done at some point in time with he and his camp, and move forward. As I said, trying to have the most competitive goaltending. It's really difficult for a goalie to start the year and turn around and say you're going to play 60, 65 games. It's really hard. So we'll earmark a number and see how both goalies are playing. And again, lean on the internal competition to see who sorts it out. But you have to have balanced goaltending each and every night in the league. It's too hard. It's too hard to get in the playoffs if you don't. And I think our team, the structure we have, the commitment to defending, I think will allow Jonas to come in and get to the level that we feel he's capable of getting to. We saw a good glimpse of that in LA when he went. Bob's done a lot of work to study Jonas, to do background work on him and how he's going to come in and complement Jeremy and or where Brandon pushes this whole group.
Awesome. Thank you for that detailed answer. This one, I'm not sure if it's going to be as detailed because I know negotiations are usually pretty private, but can you give me any information as to where that is with Jeremy Swayman? Have you guys started the process?
We are in the process, and hopeful that at some point in time we will find the common ground that we both would like to have.
Awesome. And a couple of check-ins with the team. You mentioned Matt Poitras obviously made those strides, had that injury. You guys decided as a team it was best for him to have the surgery and recovery this offseason. Do you have an update on his status and if he's trending in the right direction for training camp and the preseason?
Yeah, Maddie's done very well with surgery. A really good surgical is followed up by a really good rehab, and that's exactly how it's gone so far. He's actually going to make an appearance at Dev Camp just to sort of make sure the checks and balances and where he is. We expect him fully up to 100% at training camp and moving forward with no restrictions whatsoever.
Awesome. And I think a couple more, maybe this is the last one, depending on your answer, but Mason Lohrei obviously making big strides as well. Left shot defenseman, but I know we've talked about this. You've talked about it several times, especially come the playoffs. You need that depth on the blue line. Is that one of the priorities for you come July 1st, come maybe this draft? Is that something you're looking at adding more of?
Well, certainly in July we'll have an eye towards addressing probably the depth if we can improve our group and strengthen our group, continue to. Mason's a big part of that moving forward in his development at hopefully a natural course. We saw a great uptick during the course of this season. Getting thrown into the playoffs with high leverage stakes and being able to handle those situations. I just think he's got a lot of upside for us. The offensive part, the skill of the blue line. Get him into the power play situations now where he has more command of running a unit. Continue to grow his game. Excited for Jay, a new addition to our staff, to work with him and the rest of our group. We're going to look to strengthen that position a little bit and add to the depth, as we all know, is so paramount as you get through the season. And with luck of playing the way we're capable of playing, we get into the playoffs and take another run.
And I forgot, I teased you, I'm sorry. I can't forget the top six center position as well. Obviously, you got a lot out of Charlie Coyle. We saw huge strides, Pavel Zacha as well. Satisfied with those two, or are you in the market to add down the middle as well?
Well, you never know how the market's going to play out. Obviously, we addressed with our group here that we've identified a couple of the players that if they do become available and fortunate enough to sign, that we'd like to. It's not indictment on any of the players you discussed, be it Pav or Charlie or Maddie or Geeks or guys that played the middle. It's just a position that those guys did a really good job. They had good years for us, but it tests you in the course of the season. Strength up the middle is something that is paramount in pretty much all professional sports, and we feel very comfortable that if we can add to that group, then our players and our team will benefit from it. So that's what our intention is. But again, the market will bear what what we're able to do.
Awesome. Don, I know this is one of the busiest times of the year for you. So thank you for the one-on-one with Nesson. Good luck, and can't wait to see the pieces that are added to the Boston Bruins.